Nothing happened last night that was anywhere near as shocking or as interesting as the sudden departure of Jordan Poole from Golden State in exchange for Chris Paul. Poole is out? Paul is in? What? Chris Paul is a Warrior? I mean, that is beyond weird. I'm not sure it's the good kind of weird either. Weird is normally good. I'm not sure that's the good kind of weird. That's just the weird kind of weird. Chris Paul is a Warrior. And you'll never guess how he found out about that trade. I don't find this guy to be especially amusing, but I thought that was kind of funny when he's like, my son again. He always knows before I know. That poor kid has had to tell his old man he got traded twice in less than a week. That's pretty brutal. Talk about seeing your old man in a different light. Talk about having a couple of tough conversations with Pops. Normally, it's the other way around. Normally, it's Pops having a tough conversation with the kid. I mean, what's next? Since the kid is the one who has to keep delivering the bad news to the old man, what is next? Is he going to have to tell Pops he's too old to drive? Is he going to have to inform Pops that his pants are on backwards? Or did the kid open up one of those adult diaper accounts where they're delivered directly to the home discreetly on the monthly?
My son again.
Hey, what's this? Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that, Pop. These are adult diapers. What? They're adult diapers. You need to wear them. But they come discreetly to the home once a month. CP3 had to think the kid was punking him this time because there's no way this is where he was expecting to end up this offseason, right? No freaking way. He may have known that he was not going to stay with the Wizards, but there's no way that guy could have possibly have known that he would end up in Golden State. But the fact that the Dubs went for this move says some very loud and very clear things about Golden State. Number one, they are absolutely in it to win it right now. Number two, they wanted absolutely no part of Jordan Poole or that massive contract that they gave to him last offseason. And yes, they added Chris Paul in the trade, but the priority was clearly getting rid of the contract and that dude. They wanted nothing to do with that dude or that contract. They essentially could not be saying any louder that throwing Poole $128 million last offseason was a gigantic mistake. The Wizards gave them a way out of that mistake, so they took it, and they'll figure out how to make it work with CP3 because it's not immediately obvious to me how it's going to work with CP3. I'm not saying that it can't work. I'm saying that I would have some concerns. There's some parts about that don't feel right. There's some parts about that fit that may not fit, but it could work. It could work. But you don't have to take that from me. You could take it from CP3 himself. Here was his response yesterday to the question of how he does fit with Golden State. He just said, I don't know. How do you fit? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Well, for one thing, dude, are you going to be able to get out and run and get up and down the way those guys do? Can you figure that out? I got to imagine that the mindset of everybody involved right now is, hey, man, at least we got rid of Poole. Jump out the pool on that. We got rid of him. We got rid of his contract. We will figure the rest of it out. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but we're going to have a bunch of good players, and we'll all be on the same page, and we'll figure it out, and we have two nut punchers running together. More importantly, we got rid of Poole and that massive contract because clearly giving that guy the bag was a huge mistake. All that did was get his face broken, his numbers diminished, especially when they had to have it, it wasn't there, and his ass shipped to the Wizards. And man, what a big first swing from Mike Dunleavy in his first move as GM. Dunleavy's like, F them youth.
F them
F
picks.
them youth.
F them
F
picks.
them youth.
F them picks.
We have Steph. We have Clay. Their windows ultimately will slam at some point. We're trying to convince Dre to come back. We're all the freak in. Let's go. I don't know that it's going to work. I don't know that those pieces all really fit, but let's do this. I don't know that the old nut puncher can get out and play at their pace, like I mentioned. But you know what? I kind of like it. I sort of like this. They get somebody else to take that huge contract that they should have never given to Poole in the first place because clearly he could not handle it. Then they get a Hall of Famer to spell Steph when he needs to go to the bench because when Steph goes to the bench, generally things go to hell for the Dubs. And I do like Dunleavy taking a major swing right out the box. But man, it is shocking how badly and how quickly it went so wrong. Poole did seem like the up-and-coming third Splash Brother. I mean, he even had the perfect name for it, right? Poole seemed like the post-Curry future of the franchise for a minute, and now this dude is a Washington Wizard. Here's my other thing. If this guy couldn't make it work running with some of the best players and best dudes ever, playing for one of the best coaches ever, within some of the best culture ever, and a great franchise, if he couldn't make it work there, how the hell is he going to make it work in Washington, which is one of the worst situations? Jordan, way to take the best situation ever, hellified money, and an incredible situation, and then somehow turn that into one of the worst. My man, I hope that was worth it.
It's not worth it.
Although I know it's not.
It's not worth it.
And believe me, Draymond is not the only guy who's down on Poole, obviously, or they would not have run his ass after signing him to that massive extension. And if you're wondering what went so wrong, well, aside from Draymond breaking his face, Steve Kerr basically laid it out on Draymond's podcast already. Kerr doesn't exactly name names, but I think it's pretty obvious who he's talking about when he described the difference between this year's Miami Heat squad and this year's Warriors team. All right, so imagine what he just said, and then imagine who he said it to. He said it to Draymond Green on his podcast. Whose side do you think he took? No, he didn't mention Poole by name, but he didn't have to. We all know who Kerr was talking about and what he was talking about. How do we know? Poole is gone. How do we know? He made those statements to Draymond Green, the guy who punched Poole in the face. How do we know? He's not there. What he's saying is Poole is not one of us. He doesn't have that championship DNA. He didn't buy in. He didn't fit in. So we're going to put this dude outside the facility with a sign around his neck saying, if you can haul it, you can have it. And then the Wizards showed up with their truck. And now Chris Paul is a Warrior, which has triggered some polarized reactions, I'm sure. But I can tell you how you clones are going to react. I already know this. Without even looking, I already know your reaction. Without even glancing down, I know what you're saying. I know what the JTP is saying right now without even looking. They're all fired up because of the potential of the nut puncher and the crotch kicker teaming up and running together and maybe even winning it all together. Knowing you clones better than you know yourselves, I know that you are proclaiming that no package in the NBA is safe anymore. I'm sure you're drafting up a Warriors lineup with Draymond and CP3 and calling it the blasting packages package. Yeah, we're gonna go BPP. Or you're gonna point out that if you're gonna go toe-to-toe with the Warriors next year, you better be rocking a cup and a jockstrap. Now, you're not gonna hear that stupid crap from me because it's stupid crap. And I'm not in the business of peddling stupid crap. As if there's any other kind of crap. Smart crap. Remember, Draymond is a free agent right now. I'm not saying that them getting rid of Poole ensures that Draymond is coming back, but it makes it pretty interesting, doesn't it? Unless LeBron gets him on the banana boat, kidnaps him, and somehow charms him into going to L.A. and they can work that out, it's looking more and more like Draymond might not be going anywhere at all. It looks like they may have cleared the deck. It looks like they may have cleared the way for Draymond to return to Golden State. It's been clear for a while, but now it's undeniable. The Dubs were on Draymond's side, even if that punch did derail a good chunk of the season, if not the entire thing. I mean, everybody was so quick to point out, damn, man, Draymond is so out of control. Draymond this, Draymond that. Yeah, well, look who's gone and look who they're trying to bring back. The Warriors all but told you yesterday whose side they were on when they got rid of Jordan Poole. They all but said he essentially had it coming to him. He has 4 years left on that huge deal. He's gone. And what did they trade him for? A 39-year-old nut puncher who's never there when you need him at the end of the year. That tells you all you need to know about what they think about Poole. He's gone. And now they're doing everything they can to bring Draymond back, and they brought in a 39-year-old nut puncher, a Hall of Famer, but a nut puncher nonetheless. Man, and thank goodness they did. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here off the top of the program on a Friday talking about the draft, which was, again, the longest night and one of the worst shows ever. Ever. The only thing that would have made the Warriors blasting package better is if Grady Dick fell to them and they drafted him in his red suit. Get it, clones. Get it, clones. JTP, go ahead. Put Grady on that list, too. How about my guy, Mike Dunleavy Jr.? First of all, used to love having Pops on the show. Good dude, Pops. How about Junior, though? Talk about playing it stealth. It was Junior who said that they plan to have Jordan Poole around for, quote, 4 more years at least. Listen to this. Howie? Anyway, he said that. It was, quote, we plan to have him around for 4 more years at least. Quote, end of quote. Maybe it was a misspeak and he meant 4 more years at DC instead of 4 more years at least. Or maybe he meant 4 more hours at least. Or 4 more days at least. Maybe Mike was talking about Jordan Poole's pool of blood and DNA left on the practice court and the cleaning crew having a hard time scraping it off. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.